just wanted to show you something I built on my survival world. I've had a lot of people requesting me to show this out and put it on YouTube for everybody to see, and possibly build a tutorial on it if you guys are interested. So this is my storage system, and everything's functional. That's just not there for views. And but as you can see, we got 32 items, and our chests are empty. And as you can see, we got only one redstone torch. So, and then we got gold in here as well, and that's going to be our overflow test. I'm hoping, let me sort this out right so that it'll do something. I've got my clock short, and I have a feature in this system that I wanted to show you that seems to be a continuing problem with these multi-item sorters that we have over there. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the system on, and in the meantime I'm going to talk about it a little bit, but make sure that's off. Oh no, we need that off. So there's a couple things I've noticed about these multi-item sorters. Is, for one, they're loud. I like the ticking noise because it lets me know things are happening. I also have an indicator light that tells me that its system is running. And I like the capacity of this kind of storage that just sorts, all of your items, the old-fashioned way. So I decided, why not take the best of both worlds, because you do not need all of your stuff flowing into multi-item sorter. These kind of storage units will work just fine. So what I've done is I've combined both systems and built what I think is the best possible system to have. It's still small, still got plenty of storage room, and it's expandable if you wish, but really there is no need in survival Minecraft because you just do not get a whole lot of these kind of items over here that you'd sort in this side. You get mostly, that kind of stuff over there. In my world, I have this all hooked up to a automatic iron farm, automatic chicken farm, and automatic melon farm. So I get loads and loads of these 3 items here. So I got plenty of floor storage, just to put items that it's not connected to any of this. If you accidentally run a sort through the system, it'll end up here in your overflow, and you can just drop it into one of your chests. And then you got some crafting tables and furnaces here to quickly make something. If you came down here because you ran out of torches, you can grab your sticks and just make your stuff real quick and be on your way. So a couple features this system has that other systems need. And you'll see that there's levers and there's buttons all over the place for the system. And the reason for that is I have multiple systems running onto this. So on our world, we have a lot of rail cars hooked up to all of our farms and our mines, and they're constantly running back and forth, feeding this system here. So, and the connection for them is oh, if I can fly under there. The connection for them is actually down in there, but I didn't put it on here because really there's no need for that right now in this first video. I don't have our overflow silo connected either, but as you can see there's a sign right here that says when you would need that. Oh, come on. Helps if you type it right. I'm not used to having cheats enabled. There we go. But we have our silo connect right here. So, this would be connected to another item elevator, and it'd raise it all up and connect to our silo right there. And so I don't have that hooked up for the sake of just getting this video done. As soon as our system, I set those system items in this chest so that they will do something that I've noticed is a problem with these multi-item sorters. So hopefully my clock is short enough for the sorter that I made here to let that happen so I can show you guys what happens when it does happen. So um, we have a manual feed here, so if we come in with a bunch of stuff, we don't want to run it through the system, but we know it needs to be over here. We can drop it in this chest here and let it be sorted. We also have a manual system clear, which I will show you that if, assuming this clock runs out and I don't have all my items. Good, it's out. So, cool, it worked. Alright, so I have my clock set short so that this would happen, so I can show you a feature of this system. On my survival world, the clock is much longer, so this almost never happens unless I'm just dumping constantly items into this. So we got our 23. We have a manual system clearing button because what happens is items are not getting lost. They're actually just getting stuck in the droppers because the clock wasn't run long enough to keep them flowing all the way through the system. So we have a manual button. We can turn it back on again. It'll flush the system. And as you can see, we start getting our ingots, the rest of our ingots. So while that's doing that, I'm going to show you some other things. So our stone, we got our 32. We got our 32 sandstone. We got our 32 stone. We got our 32 dirt. We got our 32 coal. 32 ingots, 32 chicken, 32 watermelon, just like we're supposed to. And we should have 33 in here. Yep, 33 because we have to leave one in place. So there's our 32 torches. See, we got our 32s of everything. So now, by now we should have the rest of our gold. Yep, and there's our 32 gold. So while the system's finished clearing out, I'm going to go through some other things that we have. While I was building this, my wife was actually still mining and she was dumping stuff into this system. And it was just getting really frustrating because I'd have items popping out of the droppers everywhere while I was trying to build this system. So I put in this temporary lockout system that ended up becoming a permanent feature to where I could shut off the feed to this entire side of the system. And I'm going to show you how that works. I'm just going to leave that on, come up here, and we can see that the items from our other side of the system flow across here into this chest, and they'll either get dropped down below to run through the multi-item sorter, or they'll run through these hoppers to go through my overflow. When the lockout is enabled, it lights this torch, shutting off this hopper, so that all the items that go into this chest are forced to feed out this way. Excuse me. And getting over cold here, but same thing when that lockout is turned off, so that your system will run. It's powering this repeater here, powering that chest, so items cannot flow through here and they're forced to drop down there. So, and we have a roof access because keep in mind this was built on a survival world, and got a lever. I like the double door look, but I have a lever activated, only open one door, and we have our roof access here to get to the top. And get up here, and we can get all the way up onto the top if we want to by going up there, or we can access all of our wiring to reset our sorting system. If we want to start sorting something else, then we can do that. So that's a thing to keep in mind that we have built into it, because again, this is on our survival world, so you know, we have to be able to have access to all this stuff here. Now, one thing I have in this is a double item elevator, and if you'll notice, I do not have enough hoppers. I do not have a big enough system here to handle if both of these are running. But if I'm dumping enough items into it, both sides will run, and what will happen is you'll get the majority of your stone, the majority of your dirt, the majority of all your items that you have sorted out here, but some of them will go and bypass it and drop through the entire system and end up in your overflow. At first I spent a lot of time trying to solve that problem and still keeping it in this size, because in the world where we have it, really it can't be any bigger than this. So um, I decided, hey, you know what? What's really so bad about that? If I have stacks and stacks of stone in here, um, does it really matter that some are going by and going up into here and then being fed into our silo, which we could easily just turn our silo on and have those items come back down and run through again. Um, and you know, you can keep both sides on, turn that side on, turn that side down, and it will just keep making the loop until eventually everything is sorted in its proper place and any overflow will go back up into the silo. Um, so that's that. Go ahead and shut that back off again. And now one thing I've noticed about the other multi-item sorters I've seen is that this is a trap chest. Now mine it's not, it's just a normal chest. But with the trap chest designs, you open the chest and that activates your system. Well, I thought, well, I'm usually just sending stuff here to be automatically unloaded. I don't even come over here unless I'm, need something. So I do not want to have to keep coming back over here to open a chest so that the system turns on. So what I put into it is a comparator hooked up to that hopper. If this chest gets items in it, it's going to activate that hopper, or activate this comparator, and that runs down and activates our clock. So the system will automatically turn on if items come into this chest. Um, Unless, of course, you have your cutoff, in which case everything will just bypass and go around. It won't even drop down here. Um, Now our overflow. Now you have your silo feed off. I have my silo feed off right now because it's not connected. I have a lot of chests here to where if you have your silo feed off, you left it off, you forgot to turn it back on, whatever it might be, or you just want to browse through the items that are in your overflow before you send them to the silo. So I have a lot of chests here to enable this to run for quite some time and fill this up without, just end up filling up the whole system and now you got to clear out, sit there and press that clear button and clear everything through. Um, so I have pretty good overflow protection. In fact, I think I have the best overflow protection because I have that silo above that I can always just flip on and everything will just go out and go up there. Um, or everything that was dumped into this chest anyways. So again, got lots of chests on the floor, got more storage room in here than uh, most will ever need. On our survival world we have a lot of automatic things, so um, this is constantly running. I mean, I don't think it really ever shuts off. This side does because, we're not sending a lot of those kind of items through here, but we are sending a lot of these kind of items. And so this system basically never, ever, ever, ever shuts off on our world. And, that's how we like it. It's kept up with it. I've tried overflowing this thing by dumping and dumping and dumping chestfuls of items into it, and I have not been able to break it or cause any major backflow to where I have to go in and manually clean out hoppers and droppers like I've had to do with other designs. So um, this is the ultimate storage system. I could do a tutorial on this. It's pretty modular. Um, it's an easy, relatively easy build, assuming you have an iron golem farm to get your iron, because we got a lot of hoppers in here, so you're gonna need a lot of resources to build this. But another thing I was gonna show you while I was here is around our world we have our camp, our base. We have a defensive wall set up to where if mobs come in here, they're automatically dying, getting shot and dead, and their items are dropping through because we have hoppers under here. So their items that they're dropping will flow into those hoppers and will come out right here. As you can see, we must have killed a creeper and then we also killed a cow with our defense wall here. So you might think, oh, it's a pain to come by and refill all these chests with arrows. Well, it's really not, because we have ours hooked up to a skeleton farm, so we get loads of arrows, and they automatically feed this minecart, which runs pretty much constantly, unless for some reason, whatever reason, there's no arrows in that cart, then it will not run. So we have an indicator light letting us know that arrows are being fed into the system, and of course we drop some arrows off, and so our system automatically stays full and we don't have to mess with it. So this was the main thing I wanted to show you, was the storage system. Um, as always, rate, comment, subscribe. I could probably do a tutorial if you guys ask for one, but that's it for now. Thanks.